Mysterium. Blessings, blessings to all of you who are here live from all over the world. And of course, all of our sisters who are listening to the replay, we welcome all of us here and now. Spirit, beyond timeline, space, and dimension. So, welcome back. So we're going to begin I'm just going to share some announcements just to make sure like you don't have to get up and move around again, and then we'll close our eyes for a couple moments before we begin. So we had asked you, and of course every day we ask you to bring some things. Today, of course, your cauldron or your bowl that maybe you brought yesterday, a candle, a dark shawl or blanket. This you could wrap around yourself, you could lay around your body. Of course, today with the Morrigan, as we'll share, you know, she is one who shrouds herself. And so having this as we journey into and through the mists is a great reflection and support for us to be able to see and feel that which can be opened and released and shared with us. Water and tea. I've got a couple drinks myself. Any of the teas, of course, from the Magic Prep Guide, or maybe your own tea. Any essential oils that you love, flower essences, maybe your journal, your grimoire, a pen, a pencil. Of course, there may be things that you wish to write down at the end of our journey. We also asked for you to bring a pomegranate and a knife and a plate to cut that pomegranate. And finally, the only other thing that we have requested is for you to have a pillow. And this will be if there are some sounds that you wish to move through your body at a certain point of the journey, and that makes you feel more safe depending on if you have other people in your home or maybe you live in an apartment. The pillow is something that is optional, but you can do to help you feel like you can both release without inhibiting yourself in any way. Thank you so much for all of your continued shares in our Facebook group. It is a joy to be able to witness what has already come alive through crossing through the mists, and of course with the dark crone mother goddess, Caradwyn. And so our journey continues today. So I ask for you to close your eyes. If you have your essential oils or flower essences or any goodies next to you that you want to use as you ground yourself in your body, please, please follow what is most resonant to you and your being. That is the most important as we reclaim who we are. Okay, and when you're ready, you can just simply close your eyes for a couple moments. In this dark time of Samhain, and of course, just honoring our sisters in the Southern Hemisphere, moving in Beltane, in this dark time of Samhain, the gifts lie in the quiet, in the liminal, in the imaginal, in the slowing down, where all the forces get concentrated and are easy for us to feel, to taste, to touch, to hear, to sense. And so together, let's take 3 deep inhales and exhales. leaving behind anything that doesn't need to be here in this now moment, and granting you access to your innermost caverns and essence. Your breath that will always bring you to self. That is truly an agent of liberation. Feeling all of your sisters here, some who you know, some who have yet to meet and journey with, and knowing that we are all part of a sacred sisterhood, called here by Avalon, called here by Caradwin, the Morrigan, Arianrod, called here by our higher selves and the pathways of our destinies. And so it is here we give thanks, giving thanks for whatever is alive for you in this moment. And breathing in to that gratitude. Giving a squeeze to some part of your body, your legs, your womb space, your belly, your chest, your arms, maybe all parts of you, to just center you and bring you here to this moment as we journey into Temple 2 with the Morrigan. Blessed be, blessed be, blessed be. Thank you.
Blessed be, beloved sisters. Blessed be. Awen, Awen, Awen. Thank you, Amaya, for this grounding. And from my heart to yours, welcome to this powerful day. Whew. During our ritual today, we're going to be partaking in a sacred banishment and invocation. And so for that to happen in a way that you can feel really solid and present and fluid, I want to offer a mini tutorial. In the email today, there was shared for you to please go look in the portal for the visual of the pentagram in which we're going to be using. And if you already looked through that, wonderful. And if it's possible for you to do that and to see that now, that would be really great so that you can have it in your mind's eye, because with the reflection of Zoom, the way I would share it won't work. And for some Mercury reason, Zoom isn't letting us do screen share right now. So the purpose of the pentagram that we are using, of course, is a seal. It's both a releasing and a sealing of energy. And so the way in which the pentagram comes forth is very much a weaving in from what we began yesterday in the sharing of the 5 seeds within the apple, the wisdom seeds of Avalon. When we go to the powers of life and death, we come to the elements that we are made up of: earth, air, fire, water, ether. We see this prominently in modern day, which is also ancient, but has come from the ancient times of many of the Asian healing arts and traditional Chinese medicine. This sign of the pentagram, the sign of the star, that is one of great power and potency, which has been intentionally, through the patriarchal imprinting of this time in attempts to exile the goddess, it has been used with distortion to come synonymous with that of Satan or that of the devil. And part of this reclamation of witch, of sorceress, of your own power, of our power, is to remember and recognize the truth and the authenticity that is here in the power of the star. So the star connects with each of the elements. The star also has deep connected roots with our beloved Venus, who will be shifting into another one of her gates that we'll be sharing about on Thursday for your ritual. And so there is, and just very briefly here, this is the shape in which she forms this pentagram in the sky. So she is the OG goddess in this sense, right? It's like Venus, the planet of love. This is her symbol, her dance. And so the invitation is to bring forth a remembrance, a reclamation, and an honoring of this. And so within the banishment ritual, we will be, or part of the ritual, we will be using the pentagram to cast forth away that which no longer serves you and the all in your blood lineage and through all timeline, spaces, and dimensions. And we will be then utilizing the invocation to bring forth the reclamation of your truth and power. And so if you have already looked at the visual, then wonderful. If you have not already, then please make sure that you go to that now. So what I want to share is, if you can see, we're going to be using actually the banishing first, which is on the right side. So you begin in the bottom left-hand corner. And you can imagine you're beginning there, and you're going to be utilizing your arms, the power of your arms. You can use your left or your right. And you can imagine the banishing, you're casting it up and out. It is no longer going to be a part of you because it's not needed anymore. And then you're going to come down to the bottom right-hand side. And so you can do this with me. If we all want to start at the bottom left-hand side, whatever arm you want to use, cast up to 12 o'clock. You're going to come down to the bottom right-hand side of the star. Great. Go diagonal to 9 o'clock. And then straight across to 3 o'clock. Back down to the bottom left-hand side. And then finally, one more time. That's a complete cycle, but when you think about it, you want to then, on the very final part again, off. It is done. Okay? That is the banishing. Then there is the invocation. You may choose to use a different arm for this. You may wish to use the same arm. So invoking, we are bringing that which we are calling forth home inside of us. So we're going to begin at 12 o'clock. Okay, bringing it home down to you, bottom left-hand side of the star. Thank you. Yes. Up and diagonal across to 3 o'clock, across to 9 o'clock, down to the bottom right-hand side, and back up, and one last time, home. So there's great power to this. If for some reason this gets too complicated in your head while we're in the ritual, I encourage you to just utilize your arms in whatever way feels authentic to you in a simple casting forth, banishing out. And you can just be doing this. And then a calling in, calling in. So you have a couple options there, but we want to give you the real powerful frequency of the pentagram for this. Are there any questions? And if so, you could put them in the chat that's here. You can look over that as we are going through a couple things. You can have it open while we're doing the ritual, but we really don't want it to confuse you or create more headiness. We want you to really be fully in your bodies. So, okay, great, thank you. What if you accidentally mess up the pentagram shape? Well, this is a both and, where it's really your intention that matters. So if your intention is to banish, then that's what's happening. If your intention is to bring in and invoke, then that's what's happening. And so you may wish to then just go, okay, I'm just going to do this part of the arms that I was sharing. That's going to be more simple for you. Bringing in the invocation, which is actually the second part, and then the casting away. You can also practice it or do it later tonight. We're going to invite you later tonight to also have a small ritual for yourself personally. And so you may wish to bring that pentagram during that part if it's too complicated for you. You can definitely light your candles. Please do. If they're not already lit, that was a question. And we welcome you to light them before. We welcome you to bring forth during. There's a question of each of the correlating with the elements. So there are different schools of thought that use different forms of elements or different placements of the elements. So if you go to the very top, that can be considered to be fire. If you go down to 3 o'clock, that can be earth. If you go down to the bottom right-hand side, this can be related to metal and or air in this sense. Then going to the bottom left, water, and then up to the left-hand side at 9 o'clock. In traditional Chinese medicine, this can be considered wood or then ether in this case. There's other placements of it where ether is at the top as well. So whatever resonates for you, we're working with them, really all together in a cohesive creation and sacred destruction. So that's a wonderful question. Thank you, Janelle. Yeah, thanks, Iona shares. It occurred to me that Satan is just another patriarchal figure. Laugh out loud, nothing to fear, nothing of love. Beautiful. Thank you, sister. Okay. Okay. And Valerie's asking, the left-hand side of my body is weak, so would that be too hard to use in for banishing? Really feel into it. Banishing can have it's obviously it's very powerful. But sometimes it's like you can be in the deep of the rest and it's just like, I'm done. Goodbye. And it can be as simple as that. So it's like, if you're feeling fiery, go for it. If you're feeling more gentle, perhaps if you're on your moon cycle, it's like, listen to your body. I will say though, however, when you're doing the banishing, because they're both active in a sense, but if you use your right side, that's more of your active, your in action. And then your left is more of what you're bringing in, so what you're giving out or what you're releasing, and then what you're taking in. So you may wish to do that as well. So feel into your own body. Perhaps you wish to do the banishing with your right and then do the invocation with your left. Yeah. Okay, great. All right. All right, sisters, we are going to transition. We are going to deepen now into the story of the Morrigan a little bit, because of course her story is going to continue to be lived through you. Perhaps already she's living with you and she's been a guide, and perhaps she's new for you. So if you so choose, you can close your eyes. If you wish, you can have them open. welcoming you to take a deep breath in and out. As you feel into the space below you and above you, beside you, to each side, in front of you, behind you. The Morrigan. She is the ancient queen of death. She is the battle raven. She is the Irish Morrigan. She is goddess of war, of fate, of death. She is the keeper of the temple of the Black Rose. She is bestower of the sword. She is fairy queen. She is witch, enchantress, shapeshifter, magic maker, sorceress, lady of the lake, the ninefold goddess of the Morrigan. She is this and more. Dragon queen, she is. When we look to her name, we can see the Morrigan, her name, connected into she who is born of the sea, the great abyss, the great void. She is a name. She is also a title. She who is identified, known as, embodied as a woman of high magic. Her name translates in this way to she of the great queen. Her origins are directly linked to the megalithic cult of the Great Mothers, many of whom appear traditionally as the triple goddess. In her role, similar to that of the Valkyries in the Norse folklore, they both use magic and cast spells on warriors and are the ones who make the decision in battle of who will live and who will die. The Morrigan is closely associated to horse symbolism as well, as she rides through the night and has been linked to different equine goddesses. Her megalithic roots go further back and stem all the way to the ancient dragon goddess Tiamat, the primordial goddess of salt and sea, who gave her body and transmuted her body to create the lands and the waters of Gaia, our earth. Even in the Bible, Tehom, literally the deep abyss, the dark, the great deep of the primordial waters of creation, are shared here, stemming from the Sumerian goddess Tiamat. And this links us back and back into the times of Atlantis and Lemuria, linking us to the stars, to the Syrians, the Venusians, the Pleiadians. She is daughter of kings and queens. She is sorceress. She is guardian of the crossroads, of the fae and of the human. She is of royal bloodline. As the battle raven, she is this goddess of war, of battle. She is said to hover over the battlefields in the form of a raven, hooded, cloaked, veiled, where she can see and foretells the destiny of those on the battlefield. She is depicted as this triune goddess whose aspects are manifested not as the maiden, mother, crone of the traditional triple goddess, which you may think. However, this can come forth as her as well. She is connected to Baib, meaning vulture or venomous, connecting to Nemanja, meaning frenzy or fury. And she is one of the Tuatha De Danann, the people of goddess Danu, connected in with these ancient Atlantean ties. In one great battle, she is asked, "What power will you bring?" And she replies in a translation that is difficult to interpret. She brings forth aspects of pursuing and destroying and subduing, as she is the enchantress. And so when it comes to the battlefield, she chants a poem. She arrives and brings this forth, and immediately the battle breaks and completes. And after the battle, she chants another poem to celebrate victory with great prophecies, and has indeed prophesied the end of the world as we know it. She proceeds over the internal and external battles that you have fought or that you are fighting in your life, whether conscious or unconscious. And it is out of your devotion and her devotion to justice and equality in seeking liberation that she comes forth to usher you to alleviate, to have a sacred death of what is needed. Death is here now, and this is her frequency. She is a washer at the ford, she who cleans the blood out of the clothes of the wounded and the deceased. And so she is here cleaning out that which no longer serves us, a cleansing of the blood, a cleansing of lineage, a cleansing of DNA. She is the keeper and guardian of the blood, this communion with ancient and sacred codes within you, your DNA. She tends to life and death and rebirth through the power of blood. She is willing to get in to the dirty and the dark and the messy, the pains and the wounds, so that the blood codes of you and your lineage can be intact in this lifetime, to clear distortions and to open new timelines. She is the very fabric that is elusive, able to shapeshift through the dimensions. And her story has been told and it remains cloaked. For her name is the Phantom Queen, the great goddess. She who takes precedence over that which is in a physical form, but yet unseen, as a guardian and a protectress taking physical incarnation. Over years and eons and stories and myths, she is the one who transforms from mortality to immortality, as you do through your evolutionary journey of your soul. She appears and then she disappears into the mists. She surrounds the holy Isle of Avalon, as in her later years, the Morrigan incarnates, is known as Morgana, Morgan Le Fay. And she ushers you and ushers us into the depths of Avalon, where you are now, into this Isle of the Dead, deep, deep, deep down below the cauldron of Caradwyn in the underworld of Avalon is her home unknown. She is seen through the lands of Avalon, peeking through the trees and transforming as raven and crow. Caw, caw, caw. You hear her. She calls you. When you hear and sense the sound of the raven, the sound of the crow, know that she is here, that she is beckoning you forth out of the fiercest love for all that is ready to die, to shed, and to be burned into the bonfire flames of Samhain. This is her high holy season. She is here to support you in this present moment for all that is ready to be burned, to be alchemized, to be transmuted, for that which is holding you back, and she will push you to your edge. And when you have been pushed to your edge, it is out of her greatest and her deepest love that she nudges you to take that leap for your own soul's growth, to remember, to restore, to reclaim, to reconnect. It is here where all of your greatest dreams lie, right there on the razor's edge, for you to then come forth through the power of death and endings and destructions into your greatest truth, into your greatest dreams, into your liberation. She is the one who walks in this realm of death, the realm of the Fae, the realm of magic. She is here to restore the dragon queen codes within you. For that which is your greatest service and your greatest gifts of your soul, here to be offered for the all in this great turning of this wheel of the year and in this grand cycle that is ending and rebirthing through us all. She holds the keys of immortality and infinity and rebirth. We call you forth, the Morrigan. Caw, caw, caw. And you can hear her. It is I who have called you forth, dear one. You can hear through all time and space. I am the one that lives within you, and you in I. And we are the same. Go between the worlds. Go between the veils. And remember, there is nothing to fear. Death. Death. Death creates life. And life begins in death. Oh, when. Oh, when. Oh, when.
Owen, Owen, Owen. And so as we feel the Morrigan here fully, completely, this space, I wish to share a transmission that came through me from her for all of us as I sat at my altar last night. And this is really the Morrigan speaking. I haven't read it since I wrote it, and I hope I can read it because it was dark as I wrote. And so just receiving this in the same way that she is here. And these are words she's speaking to you, to me, to all of us, for our greatest truth and power and liberation. I am the battle raven, as are you. Do not waste your time on battles that distract you or keep you away from the truth of your devotions. These will only silence you and keep you far from self. Pay attention. If you fall asleep, you become preyed upon. The time is now to slice through, to defend, to beguile the seducting illusions into death. I am not speaking about time through your linear sense of the word. When I say the time is now, this is a call to arms. This is the battleground for you to fight and become the victor. And yes, there will be a victor, even if you want the all to win. And this is part of what has happened and will continue to happen until humanity takes its last breath. What side do you want to be on? How is it that you will serve? We await you, our blood dripping in anticipation of you joining the ranks of the daring, of the wild, of the dark, of the shining ones who muster the conviction to fight. Innocence has been lost, but in that awareness, a blade of wisdom appears, piercing through every nuanced, subtle, burrowed crevice of self-induced shame and judgment. This is not perchance. This is a well thought out endeavor of soul for you to be free, to find liberation and walk side by side, your blood dripping, calling forth the liberation of all. We are here, and death awaits. I will not embrace you in any warm folds as you join us, but I will fight with and for you, giving you my all if you give that to me. We will dismantle, we will redirect, and we will forge something new and greater. The ancient ones by our side, howling and laughing with our victory. Yes. Yes, it is. And so it is. Breathing in and out as you join the ranks of battle to defend, to give death to eradicate illusion, misconceptions, inequality. And so here we stand, arm in arm, linked together with a great guide alongside. And so taking a moment to breathe into the frequency that is now all around you. She who is not bound by any words. And we invite you into her realms for a sacred journey. So finding your connection to your own body. Closing your eyes. Finding yourself back in the apple orchard where we completed in the timeline that was yesterday. Getting yourself situated in this space, feeling the energetic of that orchard on the slopes of the tour of that beautiful mound that connects heaven to earth, earth to heaven. In this apple orchard where priestesses have gathered for thousands of years. It is time to meet the Morrigan, the Phantom Queen, the Lady of Avalon, the Dragon Queen, the Keeper of Death, the Battle Raven, the Washer at the Ford. It is time. And so you stand up in the orchard, breathing in and exhaling. And you begin to walk out of the apple orchard, trusting your feet. It is sunset. You notice the sun beginning to make her descent on the horizon. And you walk a path, a well-worn path, a path that you know in your bones, in your cells, in your blood, in the entirety of your body. This is a living wisdom within. Trust that. As you walk, you begin to hear the sound of running water, that beautiful melody. And you look to the right of you, seeing the white springs of Avalon, the springs that hold the frequency of the solar, of the masculine, of one half of creation. And you bow in recognition and gratitude as you walk by this stream. And you continue walking, moving into a beautiful garden space, noticing that most of the plants are in their own death portal, but there are still a few roses in bloom, some leaves on trees that speak to you. And as you continue to walk along this path, you see in front of you an iron gate. You place your hands on this gate, feeling the coldness of this time of the year. And you push it open to find yourself at the chalice well, the sacred wellhead of the Red Springs, the place where the goddess herself thrives and communicates. And with your very presence to every breath, you walk toward the well, the sacred well that you've perhaps seen in reality, perhaps seen in dreams, visuals. And it is here where the Red Springs lie. counterpart to those white springs that you walked by, full of potency of the Holy Grail that was once hidden in this wellhead, the place of the lunar, of the sacred divine feminine. And as you take all of this in, the energy is so palpable. A crow, a black raven descends. Call! 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 Circling 3 times in a clockwise direction over the well. Present to the power of this winged being. Present to the communication it offers to you as a welcoming. And as it comes to its final rotation, flapping its wings, it shape shifts. And there in front of you is the Morrigan. Can you breathe her in, taking her in, she who is cloaked in black, who wears a red string around her waist, who wears a red rose pinned upon her breast. She says, welcome, 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 welcome. I have been waiting for you for lifetimes. She beckons for you to place an offering at the Red Springs. And by the light of a candle that is sitting right on the edge of that wellhead, you kneel down to this place that carries and that echoes the prayers, the chants, the devotions of thousands and thousands of years, of thousands of priestesses, layers and layers of magic and mystery and poetry, this deep portal of remembrance of self as a sacred vessel of heaven and earth. And in this moment, you place an offering into the well, something sacred, special, holy unto you that you offer to the holiest of the Red Springs, of the goddess, of blood, of the Grail, of mystical truths. And if it's a physical thing, you hear your offering splash into the waters below as it is met and received by the Red Springs. The Morrigan says, this is the time of death. This is the time where we experience the flow of the veils thinning and the other world and this world crossing back and forth, intermingling in their connection and communion. And so I invite you right now to place another offering into the well to your ancestors, to those who have walked before you, to those who have paved the path for your life's expression. You are their greatest dreams were manifested into the world. You are their great prayer in form. and you get to fulfill the living destiny and frequency of your lineage, should you choose. So again, you kneel down by the candle to the wellhead, and you offer a gift, a word, a song to your ancestors. This tree of your ancestry through which you have descended upon this earth. And again, if this is a physical offering, you hear a splash as it's received. And you look up and you see a ring of your ancestors. Ancestors tracing back to the beginning of time. Those who are benevolent, who have a special and sacred love-filled devotion and offering for you. These beings who are guardians and allies and who wish to weave your sacred desires with you. There are so many ancestors, creating circles upon circles upon circles upon circles. You are not alone, and you never have been, and you never will be. Notice your body and the activation of being in the same space with those who have walked before you, whose DNA you hold and carry, whose blood runs in your veins. And out of the dark, as the sun has now set, comes one female ancestor. Someone who is not familiar to you, who you have never seen. She comes quite close to you, and you stand eye to eye, heart to heart, womb space to womb space with this ancestor who is enveloped by all these other ancestors. And she speaks. I see you. I see you. I see your power. I was once powerful. I was once a priestess, a poet, a sorceress, a medicine woman. I was that. I am the original ancestor going back through all of time in your lineage, the first one who was impregnated with the identity of the devotion of priestess, of witch, of sorceress, of medicine woman. And I dimmed my light. I pushed it away. I became small. And I see that in doing this, not only has it affected my life, not only did it affect my life, but it has now affected the entire lineage leading up to you now. Your power, your magic, your embrace of who you are is crucial. Your gaze never leaves one another, and the Morrigan approaches the two of you. She lifts the candle that has been right sitting on the edge of the wellhead, and she brings this candle from the ground to the level height of your womb spaces, of you and this ancestor. And in this light, you see that there is in fact a cord connecting you. The Morrigan takes the candle, and with the fiery flames of death and Samhain, she melts. And breaks the cord. The cord releases. And your female ancestor says, I take back my experience. This is not yours. And in that moment, light fractals, illumination of light open and pop, sparkle all around you as the lineage breaks free. As power is restored from woman to woman to woman to woman to woman to woman to woman, and on and on and on. Coming to you in this moment. And that illumination, those light codes of truth, essence, restore in your being. And as they restore in you, they restore and clear for all future descendants. It is done. The vow is broken. The oath no longer exists. To be small, to fit in, to exile your power, to ignore your power for any reason, it is gone. It is gone. It is gone. The ancestor blesses you with one final word, one final phrase that she speaks to you. And as you receive that from her, you return and expand into self even more. With great relief for the healing and repair that has happened for both you and your ancestor. Your ancestor bows to you and steps back into the circle, into the dark, amongst all the other ancestors that are here. And the Morrigan turns to you with her fierce directiveness, with your power more intact, with a sense of yourself that has not existed before in your own self and in the entirety of your lineage now. What are you giving death to now? What are you done with in your life? What are you releasing? This is the moment to bring it all real, raw, holy. She shifts your body to face the well, to speak your words into the spring waters, to hit that razor's edge right here. What is no more? And as you begin to speak, your rage, your anger, your violations, your truth, your shadows, your power, your magic, as the words begin to be received by the well, who will transform it? The activation of your voice, of that power and truth, activates a fire right above the well. A roaring fire ready to receive whatever it is that you are ready to give death to and dispose of, and then transmute for yourself, for all beings.
You can hear the drumming continuing, reaching to the fires and to the flames, and from within the drumming, you can hear this heartbeat of your ancestors through all time and space. The heartbeat, the pulsation, the blood running through you. This is the drumming that is within the fires, the beat within your blood, this sacred sound, remembrance, catalyzing, shifting through all timelines, spaces, and dimensions. The Morrigan speaks. My child. These are the holy fires. The fires ablaze. The fires that are here for you to give death to that which you have been tolerating, death to that which you have been suffocated by, that which is wringing your soul in distress. These are the fires through all timelines and dimensions where you now have this opportunity to cast forth all that is ready to die. What is ready to die? What are you ready to give death to? What is ready to leave through your blood, through your bones, through your DNA, through your whole spirit, and all the levels of your being, through all timelines, spaces, and dimensions? It is time now. It is time to give this to the fire. From the greatest place of your love, for your dreams, for your devotions, with the fierceness that you are within, the love that is the power of truth that is so dear to your heart. From this place, the warrioress within you, the one who is devoted to true power, to love, to liberation. What has been internalized that you are ready to give death to? Maybe this is your fear. Is it guilt? Is it your pride? Offer this to the fire. What is ready to die? Have you called yourself victim? Throw this into the fire. These are the fires of purification, my sister. These are the Samhain fires to purify you. These are the fires of death. How have you been playing small? Give this to the fire and let it be devoured. Utilizing your words, utilizing your voice, allow a freedom of your truth to come forth now. What needs to go into the fire? You are safe, you are free to speak your truth. Give yourself that liberation through sound, through voice. Cast it into the sound bonfires. Cast it into the flames. Cast into the flames oppression, depression, injustice. Cast into the fires your pain, your angst, your no more. Let it come as a roar. Let it come as a rage. Let it come as a sound from the depths of within you, the dragon queen that you are. Your voice ignites the fire lines and the dragon lines through all of Gaia. As you cast forth that which you have tolerated for too long, that which has been holding you back, that which has been bound you in shackles. It is time to free yourself now, to come home to your truth. There must be a death for there to be a rebirth. And you are loved. You are so loved. And it is time now to let it go. Your words have ignited the entire song lines of Gaia, letting her know that you are committed. You are committed to this death for there to be shift, for there to be change in your life, for all beings, in your ancestral lines. And so here, with the fires ablaze, it's time now, dear sister, to cast your spell, your death spell. Time is here and now. Welcoming you now. Use the power of sound, your voice, which is the frequency of your soul. Let it come from your heart. Let it come from your womb. Let it come from your sight. It is time. It is time. It is time. It is time to banish, bringing forth the power of the pentagram, utilizing the power of your heart, invoking the truth of who you are from your heart space that goes all the way out and down your arms, through your palms and your fingertips, with the power of all of creation, including death. Now, bringing your right arm down to the left-hand side of the pentagram, this part here, where you will begin in casting forth up, and making this whole entire pentagram shape as you speak these words. knowing that you have another option for utilizing the power of your body and your arms for this banishment. The time has come. It is time. As you speak these words, you will continually move through this pointed star, through the earth and the air and fire and water and spirit. Sisters, we are gathered all through the sacred places of earth, and we hold this holy banishment activation here and now for that which is here to change your destiny and the grids of the entire planet and beyond. Feel the sister power. Feel the support here now. This crucible, this moment to claim your power to banish. And so I ask that you please repeat after me. Continuing with the pentagram, I, and then say your name. Consciously choose now to release and to cleanse all beliefs, all thought forms, all patterns, all behaviors, all relationships, all karmic cords of entanglement from all levels of my being that are no longer of service to my highest and greatest good. I release that which has suffocated my soul. I release that which has constricted my truth and power. I release that which has constricted my wisdom. In the name of love, in the power of love, I now cast this forth into the holy fires of death, all that is not mine, through all timelines, across all dimensions, and all planes of existence, and through all levels of my being. I banish limiting beliefs. I banish obstacles on my path. I banish fear and doubt. I hereby cancel all agreements, conscious or unconscious, of giving my power away and vowing to hide it. I give death to this now. I give death to this now. I give death to this now. I hereby cancel all agreements, conscious or unconscious, to harm or perpetrate others with the illusion of gain. I hereby cancel the agreement that pain and suffering is the path of growth. I hereby cancel now the sacrificing of my soul. I hereby cancel now all cords of karmic entanglement. I give death to this now. I give death to this now. I give death to this now. By the power of the word invested in me, I command the death of all energies of harm, all that is not rooted in love, to be transmuted in this moment now for my highest and greatest good and the good of all. Through all timelines, all dimensions, and all planes of existence, and through all levels of my being. The death is now complete. I break free. I choose liberation now. I choose liberation now. I choose liberation now. And ending your pentagram. Going up and casting away. And bringing your arm home, down to self, back to origin. Hand upon your heart. I choose liberation now. It is done. It is done. It is done. And so it is. And so it is. And so it is. Blessed be. Blessed be. Blessed be. All when. 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 Feeling the reverberations within your being, through all timeline spaces and dimensions, through all planes of existence, and through you feeling the power of this spell, all that is dying, that you are giving death to now, shifting through past timelines, future timelines, the web of life, here now. Awen. Awen. Awen.
Feeling what's been banished, what there is no more space of for more. And now we fill it with truth. Now we invoke the space. And so bringing your right arm to the heavens above, and of course down to the left, going through the pentagram as we repeat these words for self, for sisterhood, for the all, this reclamation, this filling up. And when you speak, let your voice be birthed from deep in your belly. I reclaim my power now. Sourced from within and in communion with the complete cycle of creation. I am whole and holy. I am sacred and sovereign. I hereby declare that I am enough as I am now. I love and accept myself as I am now. I honor and cherish myself as I am now. I am loved, lovable, and loving. I am the frequency and essence of love itself. I am love. Through this invocation and the power of my word, I bless myself. I bless my ancestors. I bless all future generations. Through all timelines, dimensions, and planes of existence, my lineage is now purified and cleared. I reclaim my power now, sourced from within, and in communion with the complete cycle of creation. And completing your pentagram movements as you have invoked your embodied essence, your divine original blueprint. And you speak the sacred words. It is done. It is done. It is done. And so it is. And so it is. And so it is. Blessed be. Blessed be. Blessed be. Breathing in and out. In the space that has now opened, been created, of your power, your courage, of your willingness, of your bravery, of your honesty, of your rawness, of your vulnerability. The Morrigan turns, and she asks you to turn towards her. She who has been bearing witness to this moment and for all of eternity. And from her red cord wrapped around her waist, she pulls out 2 sacred plants that she gathered from the base of the tour. The stinging nettle and a milk thistle. open the palm of your hand and extend your hand out to me. On your ring finger, she places the stinging nettle, and you are stung with the formic acid, with the medicine of this sacred plant to keep you awake, to keep you conscious and present to that which you declared and devoted in front of these lands, in front of these realms, in front of your ancestors, for your descendants, for yourself, to the Morrigan, to all of your sisters, to all of the priestesses, and truly to all of the brothers, to all of the priests, to all of the beings on this planet, seen and unseen. And with the stinging of that finger pulsing, she takes out the milk thistle, bringing it closer to you, and using the very edge of one of the needles, she pricks your finger. And the blood flows. All that you've spoken, all that you've said and anchored into the web of life has been received. And now you need to receive it for yourself. For this life is a gift, she reminds you, and it is fleeting. And you are a sacred expression of the holy, of the goddess. And so with the blood fresh from your ring finger, she motions for you to bless your womb space as a sacred vow. Perhaps this is the rune of blessing with an X. Perhaps this is the Awen sacred symbology, or perhaps this is something that is meaningful for you. For this is a vow to live these words and embody the truth of what you just spoke, of what is. And you bring that finger to your heart space, blessing it with your sacred blood that will honor all that is alive in your heart, that you will not withhold from your own self anymore. You will offer the greatest gift of the feminine, which is love, to the world. And bringing your finger to your third eye, blessing your forehead with the blood from your life. All the codes kept in your blood, all the codes of the feminine, all the codes of your blood lineage, sealed in these three center points, these three cauldrons. This code of mystery is yours to explore, to revel in, to devote to. This code of magic is here for you, always and forever. And as one more final offering, where you first offered those two sacred gifts. And you offer a tiny drop of blood into the sacred blood waters of the red springs. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Saying a prayer of your own gratitude. As the living liquids of who you are gifted to the goddess. And so it is. And so it is. So it is. And so it shall be, and so it always was and will be.
You can feel the meeting of your blood with the holy blood of Gaia, the life-giving waters of Avalon, that which is running through all of the dragon lines, the song lines, the grid lines, the ley lines of Earth. You and Gaia, Gaia and you. You can feel this go through to the depths and the core of the earth, through the seas and sands and soils. The blood of yours offered to Avalon. Your heart to her heart. This activates the potent grid of this ritual, of this ceremony in sisterhood, womb to womb to womb, and heart to heart to heart, and sight to sight to sight. And the Morrigan is here. She asks you, dear one, would you like to receive that which has always been yours? It is your choice. She asks you to slightly step back from the well. And as you step back, you begin to see and feel all of the timelines, spaces, dimensions, all planes of existence swirling, feeling and seeing your ancestors and guides and benevolent beings, the angels and the fae, the gods and goddesses that you have a connection with, some known and unknown, the plant spirits. You can see your ancient self. You can see your future self. All is turning and spinning in this moment. And as you take all of this in, she asks you to gaze at the fire that is ablaze above the holy waters. The Samhain fires of all time. And through the fires, She reaches her hand. Remember this. And from the fires, she pulls a sword. She beckons you to just take a step forward towards the fire, towards the sword. She says, "Are you ready, dear one, to fully embody and live your destiny? Are you ready to live your power? Blood still upon your fingers." She begins to hand the sword towards you and then stops. Beloved one, this is not for me to give to you. This is for you to take back and claim for yourself. Take your sword, dear one. Take your sword of destiny, of sovereignty, and wield it well. And when you are ready, you reach for the sword. Perhaps strong, perhaps trembling, you reach for that which is yours. And as your hands touch the sword, you are catalyzed with an electric vibration from the top of your head down to your feet and to your heart, and from your heart in front of you and behind you and all around you. This is a restoration of your power, a homecoming, a remembrance. Feeling the power of the sword is a recognition of yourself. She speaks. This sword you shall wield well. As you end and as we begin this next wheel of the year, in this turning, this life requires your discernment. It requires your vigilance. It requires your devotion, and it requires you to be fully present. Are you ready? Now is the time, and there is no more waiting. Your destiny awaits. Your destiny is here now. You bring the sword close to you and hold it at your heart. The blade facing towards the earth. You hear the crackling of the fire and the rushing of the waters through the well, the power of fire and water. You can see all that are witnessing you. This is your power. Wield it well. As you turn your gaze from all that are here present with you, you turn towards the fire again, and only for a moment do you see the Morrigan, and then she transforms back into a raven. She She encircles you 3 times when you offer to her through your mind's eye, through your words, through your heart, an offering of great reverence to her. And as you give your thanks, she engulfs it, and flies into the mist. Here you are, the great springs of creation and the power of blood, the power of life and death and rebirth. And as you look to the well, you can see that the raging fire has been dimmed, coming to a warmth with a grace and gentleness that engulfs you and embraces you, supporting the raw, your truth, your fierceness, your power, the remembrance of self. You a part of all of creation, in the ranks of your sisters who have also given death. And as you hold your sword, you can hear from the distance, she is with you. She is with you as you wield your sword of truth, your sword of wisdom, your sword of power, as you wield it with your love. And now you bring the sword to your third eye, to your mind, to your sight. Here, acknowledging your intuition, your ability to hear, to see that which is here on the other side, the veil. And then you bring your sword to your womb space. As you remember that you are whole and holy, sacred and sovereign as you are now. Honoring life, death, and then holding it however you so choose. As you feel the benevolent presence of your ancestors, as they bless you. You can feel their protection and their guidance, and you honor them, giving thanks. And as you do, they too sit back into the mists. And here you are with your holy self. Alone, and yet in communion with all of life at the holy well. The well of power, the well of remembrance, the well of creation, the well of death. And you are here, whole and holy now. Something catches your attention. Just beside you, you recognize a tree coming, and out of the corner of your eye, you can feel that there's a message that awaits. Through your sight and your ears, your knowing, you can feel that there's something here for you. And it awaits for you in the next temple. And so you sit in this holy, sacred pause. The sacred pause after death, but before birth. And so it is. And so it is. And so it is. We are here together, sisters, in this sacred pause, honoring all that has been banished, all that has been activated and reclaimed. And your invitation is to be in this loving, sacred pause of silence for some minutes. The space of release and the pure potentiality that awaits. So in your silence, you may wish to stay present in your breath. You may wish to gently wiggle your toes and your fingers and come back to this moment, November 10th of 2020. Whenever it is that you are listening to this, coming to this present moment through all timelines, spaces, and dimensions. And if you so wish to journal, to write anything that has come forth, now would be a great time. And as you come forth, making sure that you ground into your body, you may wish to take the finger that has been pricked and to give a little massage or touching to this space to center you into your physical body in this sacred pause. And then for you to bring forth in this time of integration to sip some of your tea. You may wish to ingest water, perhaps more of your flower essences. You can bring oils to bless and consecrate and seal this ceremony into your physical body. And then you are invited to also partake of this sacrament that is the pomegranate, that which is the holy fruit by which ripens in the dark of the year. And just like the pomegranate, you too have a ripeness in the dark, a wholeness. And this symbolism of the pomegranate connected to that which is truly the succulence and the nectar within the dark. And so these seeds carry the frequency and the codes of this entire ceremony as it has been with you and by you. And if you don't have the pomegranate, you can utilize the same sacrament with your water that may be here. And these seeds of the pomegranate that have carried the vibration and the frequency of death, also within it carry the seeds and the dreams for that which will come forth. And so the pomegranate is offered to all sisters here and to all of Avalon. Whether you are drinking water or ingesting the pomegranate, bringing this into your physical body is supporting all of the integration and assimilation of the release and the reclamation. So we'll have a few moments more of silence before our sister shares. Blessed be.
So sisters, as you enjoy ingest these ruby jewels of the pomegranate, of this sacred symbol of the womb space, of our holy blood, we'll open soon for sister shares. And so as we sit here, I'm noticing lots of frustration and disappointment of not hearing certain parts of the transmission, and we totally and absolutely honor that. Truly. And we also recognize technology and the lack of control at a certain point within technology. So if you wish to go back and listen to certain parts and turn your volume up a little bit more, We definitely encourage that. And also, there's oops, I'm getting feedback. Also, as we all know, because we're deep in the realms of Avalon, there's a surrender and a trust, deep, deep trust. And I'm not saying that just to gloss over any feelings. There is a deep trust that we all receive exactly what we are meant to receive. And some of it is crystal clear in this moment, and some of it is yet to be revealed. Energetic transmissions. So, with this juicy aliveness, we would love to bring up your voice, your shares, what you experienced. So, we'd like for you to speak your name, what you have given death to, and how you now wield your sword of sovereignty, or how you will wield your sword of sovereignty, either one, and complete in a powerful way with "it is done," and "so it is," or "blessed be," so we know you're complete. And because we have a lot of women, we'd love to invite women first who didn't share yesterday and who feel, really the desire to be witnessed in their spoken word and the anchoring of their truth. And then, of course, free flow into this space. So we open the space for you, to you, whoever wants to begin.
I'll go first. Can you hear me? Yeah, great. I'm Barb. And this is my third Mysterium. Yes. Hi, Shintia. I was with the Shintia last year in Avalon. Such a beautiful gift. So what came through that I banished was my anxiety disorder, which I've carried since I was younger, since I was a little girl. And when we were doing the conversation with our ancestor, it was a very old ancestor that came through from my mother's line. And I have a very fractured relationship with my mother and my mother's line, the maternal lineage. And she was like this old Baba type woman. It's Ukrainian Polish on my mom's side. And so the sort of discernment really is about not fearing life and going forward in my power. So that is what I'm doing. So, yeah. So it is. So it is. So it is. Thank you. Well, I can't
Hi.
hear. I can't hear your mute, but
Hi, I am Amber and I live in Houston, Texas. And I think the biggest thing that came through for me was that I am letting the um, peacekeeper die, the one that requires sacrifice of all self in order to keep the peace, which isn't really peace. It's unity, but it's not peace. And I was claiming and bringing in my authentic voice and loving and accepting myself in my fullness and not worrying about whether or not other people fully accept that. um, and just death to so many things of denial of self, for the comfort of others, because I've realized that in putting other people's comfort above living as my authentic self. I'm not only halting my growth, but I'm halting theirs. And that's not good for anyone. That's not anyone's highest good. So, and this is my first time. So it is. Blessed be. Thank you, sisters.
I'd like to go if that's.
Hi, ciao. My name is Gina. My name is Gina. Yesterday, my third eye exploded. Today, my heart exploded. I banish all lack, failure, shame, the bonds and shackles that I have allowed to hold me back from my truth, power, and sovereignty. And I claim my sword with discernment in a right alignment in honor of my Nonna Carmela from Benevento, Italy, who stood in her strega hood, in her strega craft, and was brought here to New York and was so sad and so unhappy. And I hail her, and I hail all my ancestors and the ancients with love, with gratitude. And I forgive you, and I forgive myself as I stand in my power as your daughter. And with love to my generations, my granddaughters, and their granddaughters to come. Awen, awen, awen. Sia benedetto, sia benedetto, sia benedetto, cosi e, cosi e, cosi e.
I think can it.
Eliza, please go.
Okay, thank you. This is my first Mysterium. My name is Eliza Steele, and I live on an island in the Puget Sound. And today was extremely powerful for me. The things that came forth for banishing and dying was self-doubt, and to stop questioning whether I am too much as I am. And that I'm not is very clearly the message that has come through. And in my life, I am going through these massive transformations of career paths, spiritual alignment, and all in moving towards honoring the earth and connecting people with the earth more. And it just came through so strong that this is right, and I am supported. And the disconnecting of the cord today was so strong, and it's all moving towards this greater cause that is the purpose of my life that I don't even fully understand, but it has come through very clearly that even though I don't fully understand it, it's supported and clear to move forward and to keep going and don't question and don't worry about it. And I also wanted to share, when we first started summoning the Morrigan, is that I actually a raven came around and was flying around calling out, circling my yurt that I live in. And so I just wanted to send that out to all, that she was definitely here. And so it is, and thank you. So it is.
Aloha, I'd like to share. Can anyone hear? Thumbs up. Okay. All right. I have to say that this is my second Mysterium, and it was an opening of a portal in 2018 that closed today, and a new one opened. It was so powerful. Sorry, I need to change the view because what happened for me today, well, I'm going to go back and say that in 2018, what I put to death was myself. It was my maiden, and I was carrying her around for several years after becoming the mother, and it wasn't serving me. She was dead. And so I put her to death. And I didn't realize that for the last 2 years, I've been sitting in this portal of death and rebirth. And today the Morrigan asked me to step into the fire and just burn it all, like show that death, there's nothing scary about death, that I could step into the fire and step out even stronger and take up my flaming sword of truth and light and love, and not be afraid to slay anyone who comes at me with anything different. And I think that I've been taught that anything dealing with death or darkness or anything like that, that's going to be kind of scary or looked down upon, or it's dark, or we're going to be in the wrong. But for me and the Morrigan, who is kind of my favorite goddess right now, it's like there's power in that. There's power in knowing your death and rebirth. There is nothing wrong with sacrifice or not tolerating that which does not serve. And you can just, it's time to cut it. And that's where I've found my power. And I feel like she's like been living in me, and I've been completely intolerant of that which does not serve my highest and greatest good. And it's looked harsh at times, I think, to some people on the outside, but I'm seeing now that it's all in alignment, and so that I can be the one to take up arms for all those who are unwilling or scared or unable to, and step out a warrior and be in my warrior power. And that is right, and it's good, and is what is in the highest and greatest alignment, because I've come through a warrior and I never understood it, and I always kind of felt bad for having this kind of Kali energy, and now I see that there is great power in it, and I'm proud to live the Morrigan and to bring her into my life and to cut out which no longer serves. And so it is.
Hello.
Oh, go ahead. I'll go next.
Hi. Everyone can hear me now? I can't see you. Okay. My name is Cataris. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, and I give death to the triangle of being a victim, being the savior, and being the aggressor. I also am giving death to wanting to turn off and die. I claim my power, my entrepreneurial being an entrepreneur, and my sovereignty. And so it is.
My name is Megan. My kitties fell asleep across my lap, so this is the position I'm in. I give death, both transmissions yesterday and today. I have like left my body and like come back to at some point. And one of the biggest messages is to give death to doing, and to give death to the obsession and identity of productivity, and effort and exhaustion as some sort of badge of honor that relates to success. Ah, there she goes. and to truly own the feminine power of creation from the womb, from inspiration, and from just the heart, instead of grabbing, just being, and trusting that there is nothing that is undone. There's nothing that needs to be achieved, and that simply by being and existing and honoring the whispers of the soul and of the goddess, that gives strength and alignment. And so, with my sword of sovereignty, I engage with my fire, not to burn down a path, but to stand in the warmth of love and hold space for those who need light in their own. So, thank you, sisters. Blessed be, blessed be, blessed be. Also, a note, this was my second Mysterium I did last year. And then I just finished Amaya's Flower Practitioner program. And then having this container and like feeling the resonance and difference between the two gives me so much joy that this community exists. And I'm so blessed to be in the presence of all of you women. So I'll end.
Can you hear me?
Hello. Can you hear me? And so it is, sister. I shared yesterday, I'm going to keep this short. I want to share this because I know there are others that may share this prayer. I'm Janelle in Seattle. I gave death today to the fear of my personal power as a vulva, a priestess, a sorceress, and a witch and a mage. And so I wield my sword of sovereignty with integrity, safety, love, and truth. My power in this lineage of Avalon and my Norse ancestry of Sweden and the Morrigans' love and care for me as that great psychopomp. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. Blessed be. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Greetings.
Hi, I'm Helena. Okay. Hello.
Sisters, I would love to share. I'm not sure if you can hear me. My name is Paulina, and this was a really powerful transmission for me, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for holding space for the beauty that comes through this sisterhood. This is my first Mysterium, and I felt Goddess Morrigan so deeply today as I was healing, and I am healing my ancestral bloodline from Poland. And today I banished all dis-ease from my womb, and I banished all lack of integrity and lack of respect for myself. And I feel so deeply when we were having the transmission of our ancestors coming through, and I really saw this beautiful, wise woman come through and release the suffering and the self-sabotage of disrespecting my womb space. And I'm calling in with my sword of discernment, beauty and creation and health and well-being into my womb that is currently suffering. And I'm calling in this beauty to reclaim within my womb space of creation. And I thank you, sisters, for holding space for this healing that's occurring within my womb. I thank you. Awen. Awen. Blessed be. Blessed be.
Blessed be. Greetings, sisters. This is Eileen from California. I love you so much. My ancestors came to me last night, and it was so beautiful, this warm breeze. A few weeks ago, it was the African ancestors, the mothers, about 40 of them. Last week, it was the Choctaw tribe nation that came in. And today, I felt they were all with me. I am giving death to the patriarchy that has squashed the indigenous aspects of my witchy nature unapologetically. I own it, and I will wield my sword carrying the magic of all my tribes, Native American, African, and Irish, and I will hold on to it unapologetically. It is time for me to be completely myself, and I own it. And I will not allow patriarchal structures to squash me or suppress me or tell me I have to be small, because that's not why I'm here. And I own it 100%. And I'm so grateful. And I honor the light in each of you. I'll win. I'll win. I'll win.
Can I go next? Hi, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. I'm Denise from California, Southern California. And what I gave death to was not accepting myself for the way that I am, for accepting pain, and for allowing the masculine to overshadow the feminine in me. And my sword of sovereignty is I was able to connect and was given a prayer by one of my ancestors. And she said, you know, to tell myself that hoy siempre me bautizo como mujer medicina. And that is today and always, I baptize myself as a sovereign medicine woman. And mote it be, mote it be, mote it be. Thank you.
Hello, dear sisters. This is Helena from Brussels right now. I just wanted to quickly share that because I resonated with, I don't know what your name was, Paulina, I think said before. Because I was also banishing patriarchy and colonialism, and especially complicity with patriarchy and colonialism. Like the little things, like how I feel sometimes I, you know, being a good girl, kind of being the daddy's girl, the girl that, you know, makes a good job and is pleasant, and even like in my work environments, sometimes how I maybe more communicating more in a rational way and suppressing my wildness, my sexuality. And I completely say no to that. I completely banish that. There is gonna be no more of that. Never, ever again. And I clear my lineage from this now. And so mote it be. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is.
So it is, and so it is, and so it is. Thank you, sisters. I'm just echoing. Judy writes here, thank you for each and every precious, powerful share. Thank you. I'm going to read a couple of the shares just from the chat so that these ladies' voices can be heard and brought in here. I am Cindy, and I live in LaGrange, North Carolina. I banish patriarchal, authoritarian ways of being, beliefs, which includes being submissive to men, letting them always take the lead, stepping back to let their ways of thinking rule the day. And so it is. Awen. Awen. Marin, my name is Marin. I am giving death to smallness and any blockages in my path, including all weapons formed against me. I wield my sword in empowerment, wealth, truth, and joy. It is done, it is done, it is done. Blessed be, blessed be, blessed be. So it is, Marin. Thank you. Blessed be. Yvonne, we know you've been here in the Mysterium before. I give death to the part of me that believes that I don't deserve the life of my dreams, that I just have to consider myself satisfied with much less than I wish. I reclaim my visions and my right to dream big and manifest these dreams. And so it is. So it is, and so it is, Yvonne. And I'll read one more from Siobhan. My name is Siobhan. I release all betrayal from women and the goddess energy that has tried to destroy many aspects of my life. I reclaim all of my power, beauty, visibility, and energy. Awen, Awen, Awen. Blessed be, Siobhan. Thank you so much for all of your shares. Just seeing the weaving of our words and the similarities of all that we're banishing, whether it's cultural, patriarchal, hierarchical conditionings, intergenerational traumas, this lifetime. It's like we are doing this all together, personally, collectively. We take up the sword for all.
I'm right.
Chinta, do you want to read a couple? Let's see if your sound is okay.
Can I go? Okay. All right. I've been hesitant to share. It's been really hard for me to voice myself. My Armenians around the world are in really needs of your prayers right now.
I'm sorry.
This today has been one of the hardest days there ever could be. But being here and allowing myself to release whatever needs to be released was very helpful. So thank you for that. I let go of self-doubt, playing small, of the aggressor always winning.
Fuck yes.
And I welcome a new beginning, new ways of being, and declaring myself as medicine woman for my community. And so it is. So it is. So it is. Blessed be.
And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. Thank you, sister, for bringing forth your voice. Thank all of you sisters for bringing forth your voice. And we honor all. I can speak this on behalf of all of us right now. We honor all of your voices. We honor all of our voices. To all that is being consciously banished with the power of our collective intent, because we know that this power of death gives way to that which we can feel and know in our blood and in our bones and in our soul, of that which needs to come forth, and the continuation of that which needs to end on this earthly plane, in the karmic entanglements, in the wars on this planet, whether it be between sexes or races, all of the differences. We come forth in the recognition together at this holy time to honor this power of death, that which does not serve the all. The completion is here. So we know that there are so many of your shares that are coming forth in the chats as well. And with this being such a very powerful, specific, and important part of your life in your path, we really encourage you to continue to speak this. You can bring this forth into our Facebook group. You may wish to bring a video and share this. It's like, if you haven't spoken today and you're really feeling that, whether in written form, but yes, using your voice, to please bring it to our fire circle where the Samhain bonfire is continuing, because it is very important. And if there's anything else that wants to be vocalized, we have a ritual suggestion actually that goes into some announcements, but so I'm just going to pause here. And Amaya, I want to welcome you back here. I can't see you right now. Oh, there you are.
Sisters, for today, for yesterday, for all the lifetimes that we've journeyed together, for finding each other in this lifetime. I hear you, and I witness you, and I celebrate this moment of pause after the death. And I will eat every morsel of my pomegranate, thinking of the blood that your ancestors shed, that they offered, thinking of the blood that runs in your veins, that pulses you with the frequency of the divine alive in you, and of the future. Every single seed. I'm so overjoyed to partake with you tomorrow again. And we will pick up where we left off, and even if you missed where we left off, it'll all be clear. I love you. Thank you.
I love you, Amaya. Thank you. I love you, sisters. Thank you. I hear you and I feel you. And we are here together. The power of all of us being in different places around the world, creating this banishment, that which is for yourself, is offered to all of those that are near you, to your neighbors, to your friends, to your foe. The apparent separation, it is offered for all beings everywhere, the personal death as the collective death. And in this sacred pause, there is much power and there is much mystery. So the frequencies and the energies of your very being in your physicality, in your emotions, in your energy bodies are altered. We are in a state, whether you recognize it fully or not right now, that is not your everyday go-to, because this is ceremony. And so we want to highly encourage you to be aware that you are in that sacred pause after the death, before the birth, where there is so much raw, there may be continued tears or rage that surfaces, there may be great joy or grief that comes forward after we depart from our circle. And so please be aware that tending to your physical body is going to greatly support all of you that reaches through the timelines, through the dimensions, through all planes of existence, and through all these levels of your being. So please ingest the waters, more water, the tea. If you can get yourself onto the earth to place your hands or your bare feet to a tree or to the soil, to bring your electromagnetic field in with Gaia for her to support you and all that is lifting off of you, all that is then coalescing home to you at the same time. So with the great tending of your physical body, you may wish to also continue a ritual, which can be if anything else comes forth. And so we just want to give you a couple suggestions before we close. And that is that you can bring your cauldron outside, or you may wish to light a fire or bring a candle outside for you to write down what you're banishing, what you're releasing. I mean, you already have, but there may be other things that come forth. There may be another wave of inspiration or energy. So you can do that. You may want to take parts of your actual physical body that, let's just say some of your hair pulls off, right? You can offer that into the fire, symbolic of that which is ending and completing. It can be a physical object. It is the utilization of this fire of death and the symbolism to that which is, which is dying, which you have chosen. Of course, to continue to share with self within our group, within our Facebook group. It can be very, and so just tune in, but it can be really wise to just keep this internal right now instead of sharing with your family or maybe other sisters. And there's just a way where you may wish to keep yourself a little bit more cloaked and veiled right now to give yourself some assimilation time. So this is, right here, this position, giving yourself a hug in this way, just really linking in protection for yourself, because you are in a great time of psychic sensitivity. So you may want to rub your feet, you may want to take a bath, and just please know that the energy of our entire circle is with so much love, being held by Avalon, being held by all of us, being held by Amaya and I, being held by your ancestors for all of this shifting to come forth. And so we honor you here, and we are with you in this sacred pause between worlds, between timelines, between the veils, between what was and what is to come. So again, thank you so much for echoing your voice through the timelines, for bringing forth your truth and the reclamation of your sword. And I too will be ingesting the very first pomegranate seeds from our land here on Maui, the first ripe pomegranate, with great love and devotion to you and to our circle. And so may we complete with a few breaths together. Oh, and one other thing. If you did not, and you may wish to do it again, to bring objects from nature, aspects of nature, whether leaves or bamboo fronds, or maybe you have rose petals from your altar. You may wish to place onto the earth the symbol of Awen again, or you may wish to place the symbol of the pentagram again. And with your intention and your reclamation, this is a signal where all of us are uniting together. And so there's a very powerful way of offering this to all beings everywhere by placing this sacred symbolism upon the earth and offering it to your ancestors and offering it to all beings everywhere. And so it is. And so I invite you to close your eyes and place a hand upon your heart space and or womb space, knowing that you are here loved, supported in your empowerment, in your death, in your reclamation by the Morrigan, she who is cawing in the distance, but yet presence is fully here. May you feel the spaciousness within you from that which you have given death to. Feeling the power of emptiness. Acknowledging within all the parts of you, yourself, that this is a great moment of restoration. This is your time now to just be in the very center of this moment that is spinning and spinning and spinning through all planes of existence, timelines, dimensions, as the wheel of the year turns. We are in the cauldron of alchemy, the fires of alchemy, the breath of alchemical shift. You are loved, you are held, you are protected. And we wish continued blessings into this day and night on your soul's path. We thank you, the Morrigan. We thank you, Caradwen. And we honor you, Arianrod, who awaits. We thank you, Avalon, and we honor all sisters here and all of our collective ancestors. This ceremony is offered to all beings everywhere for the highest and greatest good of all. Amen, Awen, and so it is, and so it is, and so it is. Our circle is open and yet remains unbroken. Merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again very soon under the tree of magic. So much love to you, sisters. And see you tomorrow.